everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Smackdown Review. I am your host, Alex, your self-proclaimed Queen of the Ring, and if you noticed a little change in scenery in the background, I'd like to thank my good friend for giving me this title, the Smackdown Women's title. It's very appropriate since I am your Smackdown reviewer. It was my birthday last week, so thank you everyone who wished me a happy birthday, but we've got a Smackdown episode to review, so let's jump into it. We open up the show with Kane returning to the ring, and he cuts a promo, but then he gets interrupted by the Firefly Funhouse. Bray Wyatt says that it's not a good idea for Kane to return to the Rumble. He points to the picture behind him on the set of the Firefly Funhouse, which is this picture of Kane with his eyes X'd out, which means that the Fiend has dealt with him, and the Fiend did not forget. We then cut to some flashbacks between Kane and Bray Wyatt during his Wyatt family era, especially during their Inferno match, which I thought was pretty cool. Then the lights cut down, which means one thing: the Fiend is coming. Kane is at ringside and the Fiend comes up out of the ring. Kane turns around and says, "What took you so long?" Then Daniel Bryan attacks the Fiend from behind, and finally, just when you think Daniel Bryan has the Fiend in his hands, the Fiend escapes. Following that, in a backstage interview, Daniel Bryan challenged the Fiend to a strap match at the Royal Rumble. It was a really great way to open up the show. I thought it was really good to have Kane return and reunite Team Hell No, and it got me pretty excited for the match. I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait to see what's next. Next, we have the highly anticipated match between John Morrison and Big E. Why aren't we calling him Johnny Smackdown? I feel like we're missing a pretty good opportunity to be calling him Johnny Smackdown, but I am happy to see the slow motion is back with his entrance, and he's really good being paired up with The Miz, too. I really like to see him being paired up with The Miz. I think they're a good team together, and this was a good match. It was a good match. It was a good showcase to remind people how good John Morrison is. Johnny Smackdown. I want to call him Johnny Smackdown. That one move he did on the outside to attack Kofi was insane. What is that called? That's crazy. Also, Kofi bleached his hair. What do we think about that? But at the end, Johnny Morrison, John Morrison, Johnny Smackdown, whatever you want to call him, he got the win with the Starship Pain, and it was an awkward move. Next, we have the Usos versus the Revival, and this was a good match. The Usos they never missed a beat. The Usos and the Revival could have a really good feud together. They had such good chemistry in this match, but they're probably going to have Usos versus the New Day again. I don't want to see it. I would love to see this feud with the Revival with the titles, and they would go. This would just be a really good feud, but they're probably going to drop the Revival, which sucks. I feel like I've been advocating the Revival week after week after week, but we all know they deserve better. But the Usos got the win, and we're probably going to see the Usos go after the tag titles, which isn't bad. I'm not mad to see it, but it would be good to see the Revival versus the Usos for the title at some point. Maybe at Mania? Hopefully at Mania. I would like to see it. After that match, we cut to an interview with the Revival, but that's cut short after we hear some screaming because Bayley and Lacey are having a straight up brawl just around the corner, and we see Sasha Banks on the floor, so she seems to be hurt. The officials break it up, and Sasha is attended by the medical team, and they are both told that although Sasha is hurt, they still promoted the match. The match must continue. Therefore, Bayley is replacing Sasha in this match for a non-title match. Bayley is not very happy about it, but she still gets into the ring. She has the match with Lacey, and I must say, Lacey has definitely improved. It's nice to see that she's getting over with the fans, although if she's face, that doesn't really convince me that she attacked Sasha backstage. And it also seemed like Bayley didn't want to replace Sasha during the match. So I feel as though maybe there's some tension slowly starting to build up between Bayley and Sasha, hopefully, because it would be nice to see them separated, and Sasha should go after the title for sure. But it was a good match. Lacey got the win after hitting Bayley with the women's right. Because Lacey won this match, she now has the opportunity to face Bayley at the Royal Rumble for the SmackDown Women's title. It's going to be very interesting to see. I'm hoping that Sasha somehow, I mean, she's definitely going to play a role, but I'm just hoping that somehow plays a role into breaking up her relationship with Bayley and going after that title. Next up, we have a segment with Elias, and I do have to say, during this segment, I kind of rolled my eyes because Elias, I like Elias, but he comes out and he does the same thing. He sings a song. It's funny. It's supposed to be funny. Sometimes not really funny. But then Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn, and Cesaro interrupted him, and I was intrigued because his interaction with Sami Zayn proved me a little wrong with Elias, and it got me excited because Elias is one of my favorites, so I would like to see one of my favorites go after a title. So the thought of Elias going after the Intercontinental title and having a match with Shinsuke Nakamura excited me very much, but then I had to remember that Braun Strowman is after the title. So, continuing on to this segment, Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro attack Elias, and of course, Braun Strowman comes out and saves the day. I would just like to see Elias used just a little bit better. I mean, the only title that he's won is the 24/7 title? That's ridiculous, because he should have been Intercontinental Champion a while ago. I mean, hello, he has a guitar. Honky Tonk Man was like the longest reigning IC champion, like, hello? Do you not see it? Next, we have a match between Sonya Deville and Alexa Bliss, and earlier in the night, we saw Sonya ask Mandy if Otis was going to come out to ringside because it did help Mandy last week with her win against Alexa Bliss, so possibly Sonya thought that she would get a win if Otis was going to come out, but it turned out to be a bad idea because at one point during the match, Mandy Rose climbed up the turnbuckle to try to distract Alexa Bliss, but then Nikki Cross knocked off Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose fell lovingly on to Otis's arms. Sonya Deville was distracted by that. Then Alexa Bliss got the roll up and got the pin and won the match. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea to have Otis come out. But I do have to say, I like this kind of intergender storyline we got going on kind of a little bit. I don't know what's going on. I kind of like that it's maybe, you know, it's more like the men are interfering in a women's storyline as opposed to, like, you know, a woman interfering with a men's storyline, if that makes any sense. And last but not least, we have the tables match between Robert Roode and Roman Reigns. And I don't really have much to review on this match because I thought it was a snooze fest. This was a main event, and at no point did I ever think that Robert Roode was going to win. Even with the interruptions with Dolph Ziggler interrupting and coming out, and can we just address that Dolph Ziggler looks like a mess? The flashy jacket, the trucker hat, and the Joey Janela sunglasses, that's not working. So yeah, at no point did I ever think that Robert Roode was going to win. The Usos come out, of course, to save Roman Reigns, and of course, Roman Reigns wins the match. All that matters is that at the end of this match, Roman Reigns challenged King Corbin to a Falls Count Anywhere match at the Royal Rumble. Hopefully, this will be the end of that feud. Overall, a decent episode of SmackDown this week. I would grade it a D. I would say pros were definitely the women's segments. Love the women's segments. John Morrison, love that match. Love to see that. And of course, we cannot forget the beginning of SmackDown, which was Team Hell No versus The Fiend. That was really great to see. If I were to have a con this week, it would just be this Roman Reigns and King Corbin feud. I'm over it. I'm sick of it. No one's everyone's really enjoying it. I don't seem to be enjoying it. At this point, I'm saying Roman deserves better, and I am not a Roman fan. I do not think that he should win the Rumble. I do not think that he should win a title anytime soon. I do not think that he should be main eventing WrestleMania, but I think that Roman Reigns deserves a better feud. I don't know, maybe with Mustafa Ali, that would be good. I don't know, we'll see. But what are your thoughts on this week's episode of Smackdown? Leave your comments down below, and of course, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share with all your friends. Subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm at _Queen of the Ring on Instagram, and on Twitter, I'm at @QueenOfTheRing, and you can find my YouTube channel link down below. As always, guys, my name is Alex, your self-proclaimed Queen of the Ring, and I will see you next week. Bye!